For years on this channel, I've been talking about the changing world order. And there's one thing about this war in Iran that we're going to discuss here tonight that should jump off the page as a crypto investor, as an XRP investor, someone that follows what Ripple is doing, that you're like, wow, now I get it, why this technology is so important. You saw the U.S. during this conflict call for help from the Indo-Pacific, from NATO, and they were told no. Now, a lot of people will try to fantasize and believe, well, that's because this was seen as an unjust war. I hate to break it to you out there, but most are. Most wars are unjust. And when the U.S. is called, well, people come running. Not every NATO country, not every one in the Indo-Pacific, but it wasn't a blanket no across the board. And what this is going to tell us is many of the current systems that are built on trust, built on history, they are breaking down and quickly. And you could come up with any reason you want why that's happening, but it's not going to stop. What do you think will happen in the future when the U.S. says, we want Europe to sanction this country? We want the Indo-Pacific to unplug someone, not do business with them. These systems are not going to work any longer. And it may be us at some point in time that is getting unplugged. You need to have a way to transact with regions you're not getting along with regions that you may not entirely trust, former alliance members that, well, things aren't so tight anymore. You need trustless systems where you can transfer value, and that's what we see being built here. Now, here's the first news here. Trump pulls back from Iran. Bitcoin and XRP surge instantly. Now, this thing ain't over yet. Hopefully it is. Hopefully we are getting towards an end here, but you never know. It's a ceasefire at this point in time, but crypto responded well. A 2-week ceasefire as of now. The strait stays open. This morning, we saw from the president, a whole civilization will die tonight. You know, very strong rhetoric. Pakistan made a call. Crypto has woken up here. And again, hopefully this conflict comes to an end. But I'll tell you this. This is what's interesting. I would almost guarantee you that we see some movement here on sanctions. And I'll tell you why. You better use those sanctions as a bargaining chip now, because they're not going to work. I'm telling you right here today, you're not going to hear from other people. But when you look at the SWIFT system, it's going to break down. And tools of the trade that we've used in the past, they're not going to work. So you best use that for some kind of value, because it's going to be nigh worthless here in the years to come. Things don't fall apart overnight, not instantly, but they will. And the same power we've had in the past to wield over the global financial system, that's coming to an end. And worse yet, people may use it against us. You watch this. What's going to happen? You're going to see sanctions released against Iran, not just to end this conflict, but to try to use as a bargaining chip, because, again, its shelf life, it's coming to an end. People are going to be able to transact at will with anyone they want. No one's going to be able to stop it. And these former alliances that allowed you to exert force on people through the financial system, I'm telling you right now, that is coming to an end real quick. Now, this is exciting. Ripple forecasting 33 trillion stablecoin boom at XRP Tokyo 2026. At the XRP Tokyo conference, Ripple dropped a bold prediction here that on-chain stablecoin volume is expected to hit 33 trillion this year. Now, this is great because this is a real application for blockchain technology, one that works well for us. And it highlights really Ripple as one of the leaders here to snatch a lot of that action and become a new standard for global liquidity. We look at regulatory dominance, 75 plus licenses globally, strategic focus, specifically in Japan, leveraging its long-standing partnership with the SBI Holdings, and institutional growth. And this is an important thing, right? That you have real use case for these systems. RWA tokenization, which is going to be huge, DeFi, and really institutional DeFi, all sorts of real applications where you're going to see this technology used and this growth captured. And again, this is the original vision. Use stable coins, which back then we would just call tokenized dollars or tokenized euros, whatever. And XRP is the bridge currency. This is the way the system is supposed to work here. Again, we see this flyer here from this event. Ripple unlocking revenue growth, stablecoin powered solutions. This is great to see. Now, we have Africa currently running 70% of the world's mobile money market. 40% of sub-Sahara Adults now have mobile money accounts, so a huge amount of the population actually using this technology. A third of them have no other type of access to financial systems. So this isn't something neat or interesting. This is something they use in everyday life, and there is no other option. This is where you want to snatch adoption, where people are using it in the real world. Stable coins and crypto in general are not speculative in these regions. They are already financial infrastructure. Ripple already embedded. Kenya, Nigeria, South Africa, RLUSD partnerships expanding, people using this technology. And again, this can be an awful lot of value for XRP to bridge. Should lead to massive adoption here as we go forward. Gold, silver, oil, and XRP, the OG vision. We are realizing that now. Ripple Prime integrating gold, silver, oil, perpetuals. And again, this is on Hyperliquid. This is all going to link together. XRP Ledger. This is the grand vision. The XRP Ledger was not just built for payments, but that ain't going away. Don't forget, payments are here. They are a leader. It's going to be huge, but it was built as an everything hub. I think you're going to see the XRP Ledger link traditional financial markets, stock markets, and also crypto blockchains. It's going to be this transactional hub of everything, the highway. XRP Ledger is built with that DEX, is pure infrastructure. The cargo could be gold, oil, silver, dollars, yuan, whatever. In the bridge, well, XRP. You need all of these parts and pieces, right? XRP is the neutral, trustless connective tissue. And again, in the environment I've told you, where you're not going to have power and trust within the financial system, you need a neutral asset. You might have a counterparty that they don't want your dollars. They don't trust your dollars. They're going to want something that is truly trustless. And in that future here, XRP is going to play a prime role. You best believe it. SEC, they just released a report, and they admit it. 94 enforcement actions, 2.3 billion in penalties. No harm to investors identified. Isn't that what they're supposed to be doing? Protecting investors? Well, they did none of that. No investor benefit produced, even worse. So no one got anything good out of these 95 enforcement actions. That's not regulation. That's a shakedown with a government seal on it. You best believe it. There's more on that. We better get regulations done, or else this could happen again. You don't think that this guy can pop back up and cause problems? Someone like him. It won't be him again, but someone like him. You don't think that can happen? You best believe it can. We got to get this done and happen right now. Now, we've seen Fidelity put these types of reports out. Now, Charles Schwab is jumping on the bandwagon here. Just dropped a reality check on crypto allocation here. 1 to 3% positions. Bitcoin, Ethereum. I would add in XRP and your other prime assets, of course. Can dominate your entire portfolio risk profile. Not because, well, your crypto allocation is small, but because it is violent. You have to be able to put down with severe drawdowns, of course. Correlations that shift during stress, volatility that exceeds most assumptions. So we always think, oh, we're not going to have that volatility again, and then, here it comes. But the question really has never been, how much should I own, but how much pain can you absorb in times of stress? That's what Charles Schwab is saying. But again, that 1 to 3% allocation is probably going to be proper for most people out there. Maybe not us, the crypto enthusiasts, but to most people, that's probably what we're going to be seeing. Now, this was not good. Congressional math ain't math like you or I do, people. This is the CEO here of the Crypto Foundation, and she's saying, listen, right now in Congress, Clarity Act is no longer a priority. It's not priority 1. It ain't priority 2. And when you look at the calendar there in Congress, limited availability. July would likely be the soonest we can get something done. This is why you can't play around, man. You're going to play little games, try to get the perfect bill, and then emergencies pop up, you get leapfrogged, and you are no longer the star of the show. Get this thing signed, sealed, and delivered the minute you can. If it's July, make it happen. Stop messing around here. RWA tokenization sits at 32 billion. We see SharpLink CEO Joseph Chelaman reminds Bloomberg that there is 700 trillion in assets that need to be tokenized. We're 32 billion, 700 trillion globally that will be roaring onto blockchains. We are early, and that's an awful lot of growth we have ahead of us. Lastly, strategy, they had to pivot. They like to use debt aggressively, but right now it's hard to raise debt. It's a tough market, right? So they've had to sell stock, but their stock, it ain't trading at a premium. They are diluting shareholders. And this is why I put strategy. They may never sell Bitcoin. Maybe that's possible. I doubt it, but okay, fair enough. but they will sell your Bitcoin per share. And we see that happening right now. I expect they're going to make it through this current downturn, but it's going to be problematic as we go forward. Best believe holders in the future, they're going to get diluted at some point in time in a significant way. This is small. Don't let me make this sound like it's something bigger than it is. It's a small dilution, but it's just the start. This is going the wrong direction. Let me know what you think down below. As always, please like, please subscribe. The revolution will be televised right here on Jungle Link.